Hey guys, it's Ash here, and today we are going to be doing a classic Harley makeup tutorial. People always ask me what brands I use, how I do it, all of that fun stuff, so thought I might as well show you guys. So let's jump right in. Okay, so now that you guys are nice and kind of close to my face, you don't want to get any closer, that's disgusting. We should probably start. I also will apologise for the fact that I'm just wearing a onesie. I'm comfortable, it's my day off. And for the terrible lighting and the terrible audio. I'm getting there, okay? Learning curve. So usually I'll try and moisturise my face and make sure that my skin is nice and not dry and disgusting. But lately it's just breaking out and it's gross. So we're going to ignore that fact. Number one is everyone always asks what my face paint is. So through the years I have used the Maroon Clown White. I don't know if you guys can see that. I found this is really oily and disgusting. It's just, you can like see the shine. Ugh. Oh, it falls off your face during the day. Like, it's nasty, so nasty. So if you ever saw my Ozcon Arkham Harley, that's what I used. We also have the Krillin Aqua Paint. It's probably not as good as everything else. I find that their other colours are better than the white. But then all we're comparing it to is the Maroon Star Blend. So I don't know how well you guys can see that. Sorry, my dodgy lighting, okay. So this is the Maroon Star Blend, which is in the cake form. So what we have to do is add some water to it. You can tell I have used it for so long. This is my second one that I've ever bought. I've been using these for about 3 years. So I started using these in high school when I was doing drama, so I was doing kabuki theatre. And this is what I used, and I was like, ooh, this would be a good Harley base. And I've used it ever since. So when we're popping that on, we're obviously going to get our sponge, which mine has been sitting in my little cup for so long that there's like no water in the cup anymore. We're going to get our wet sponge, we're just going to go in, wet the compact nice, and then we're just gonna go. That's basically how we do it. Sometimes I find, depending what products I've been using on my skin, this can get really patchy really quickly. So beware on that one. When we were in Adelaide for Supernova, it worked perfectly. I think it was like the Friday night when I did a photo shoot. And then on the Sunday that I did Harley, it was a mess. Hot mess. Also, I'm a massive picker, so I always have little marks everywhere. It gets to the point where you can just like ignore it and you'll be fine. Mostly fine. There we go. So that was just with the sponge. I haven't wet it anymore because it was in there for a while. And then if you want to do your ears, do your ears. And a good thing is always to squint like this to get under your nose, and then weird shapes. So a lot of the time I also do like double chin, because when I smile it's like ah. So you got to make sure you get all of that, because otherwise there's a pretty solid line of where that double chin is. So it's kind of masks that as well. Especially when you do a Harley smile, like, you still get a bit of your chin, so you just got to blend that. And because I'm white as it is, I can just blend that out down my neck. But if you're doing classic Harley, you probably have the cowl, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, how's that looking? Pretty good, a bit dry, because as I said, I haven't moisturised. So we're going to pop that back in his little thing, and this guy we're just going to close up. So unless you need to use him again, that's pretty much it. It's the simplest base you'll ever do. And then we'll just set him. So I'm just going to use the Australis pressed powder. Doesn't really matter. I find that if you don't like it super white, then definitely use more of a naturally beigey powder. But I'm okay being white, so. Okay, so that's that one. If you do want to conceal, I recommend the Kat Von D concealer. It is super creamy though, so one thing is as soon as you put it under your eye, you do have the chance of it kind of smudging. I also find it does that with their foundation, and I don't like using their foundation for classic Harley makeup because it's too thick and just shows everything, whereas this is kind of just like a cake base, really. Okay, next up, what do I want to do next? Next up, I'm just going to get the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel, and we're just going to smooth that all out. Doesn't need to be too fancy, it's just brow gel, really. And, okay. Then what I do for contour is I have this Mecca Max palette. It is chunky and disgusting because I have dropped it on bathroom floors many times. And in the Airbnb in Adelaide. And so we'll just get a contour brush out. So whenever you're doing someone that has really light skin tone, more of a cool undertone, or just any random colour that isn't like a natural beige that you can use a proper contour palette for, always use more of a grey, because then it's not as obvious with like suddenly a warm little patch. So for Harley, I always try and chisel out the cheeks a bit, but I got pretty round cheeks as it is. Harley's kind of cute like that, so I can get away with it. I don't have to do it too much. It's more just like me. Okay, and then I always make sure I go under like this and like that. Try and eliminate any of that double chin that might happen. Wedges. Okay, and next up, if you're doing it classic Harley and wearing the mask, you don't really have to do your brows, but I'm going to do them anyway just to show you, because this is literally my base for any Harley Quinn I have ever done. So I am cheap and I use the e.l.f. brow palette. So you open it up and you've got your cream and you've got your powder. I also use this every day, and I use obviously for my brows, and then I just use the shadow for my eyes. So we're going to go in with the darker one. So this one that I showed you is light, and this one that I'm going to use is dark. It's just really embarrassing because there's like nothing left in the pan. So we're going to ignore that. And I'm that person that is just going to use the little dual-ended brush that you get. So I don't know how well you can see that, but it's just a little dual-ended brush. So I'm going to go in with the cream, and then we're going to do our eyebrows. If you have really bushy eyebrows and you're just doing a mask, try and go over your brows with the powder and the white face paint a little bit more. Otherwise, I recommend using the Kat Von D brow pomade. So this stuff is amazing. It will literally white out your brows. It looks so cool. So I think that's the colour white out. Otherwise, you can always use a more natural colour. Okay, and once they're pretty close, remember, sisters, not twins, then I just rub in the powder and then I'll kind of squish it together because I don't have massively big eyebrows. And you'll just powder your brow. So then next up, we're gonna do some eyeshadow. I just use the NYX Hot Black. I have been using this for 1,000 years. It is very, very powdery, but it's just nice if you're doing Harley, you can just put one pan in your makeup kit. And I'm someone who takes a lot of makeup with her, so this is the best. Actually, first, I take the back. First, we're gonna use the NYX Base Primer. So we're just going to pop it on, especially with this, as I said, it's very powdery and we don't want a heap of fallout. So we're just going to go in. Just like that. And it also kind of helps because the white cake does really dry out everything. So the black does have a little bit to stick to. I've been using this a lot more often, especially with going to conventions, because you don't want it to crease and fade and get all yucky. Cool. And then I'm just going to take a little packy brush. I'm just going to dip in. As I said, make sure you really tap off all the excess because it's just super, super powdery. So now that your eyes are nice and black, really make sure that there's no marking or anything. I'm going to take a fluffy brush, whenever I can find one in my giant pile. There we go. So I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and we're just going to go in again, only the tiniest little bit, and we're just going to blend it all out. Now I'm just going to with my cold eyeliner. So that's kind of how we fix it up. It's not perfect, but like, there's not much else we can do really. And I'm gonna find where that came from so it doesn't happen again. There we go. As I said, it just gets everywhere. So after that, it is time for lashes. Now the lashes that I'm going to use are, if I just stop dropping everything, that would be great. So the lashes I'm going to use are the Wicked Lashes by NYX in Sinful. This isn't an accurate representation because these are actually two different pairs of lashes stuck together. So this pair, I don't know if we'll be able to see it. This pair is the Sinful NYX lashes, which is the bottom pair. And the top pair, which is these guys, if you can see it. These ones are just from Daiso. So they're like $1.40, and the NYX ones are a little bit more expensive. But just to kind of define it a little bit more, I did use these for Batman. What was the show? Ninja Batman, that's what I'm trying to talk about. I use these ones, the mix of them that turns into this. It's a little bit more fuller. As I said, I do apologize for the light. I know it's really hard to see and focus. So I use those ones just to add a bit more. And if you're doing a classic Harley, you don't really have to because you've already got the black. But I like to just from side on, it's a bit more wispy. So to do that, we're going to get, I'll just double check with it. Cool. We're going to get our bottom pair, get our lash glue. So I will either use the Duo adhesive. I know it's probably focusing on my face instead of this. And usually I've been using the Duo with the brush. I will usually use the other one now for my wigs. And that's especially for my pigtail wigs because you have to stick all around here to make it sit properly. And this one for just touch-ups and for my eyelashes. But I think I might be having an allergic reaction to it. I'm not quite sure. Pretty much on, and then we're just going to get our liquid liner. Sometimes I like to use the pen, but I find it actually really ruins them, so if you can find a liquid liner, this one is ancient, then just use that. So we're going to get it, and then just between the lashes and then our lash line, we're just going to fill it in a bit darker so it looks like that's where our lashes are. Okay, next up we're going to go in with some highlight. This is the Jeffree Star Ice Cold. This one is pretty much the perfect one for my normal skin tone, so using it for white just helps. So we're gonna go in. I'm terrible and I usually use a big packing brush. And for Harley, if you really want, you can go along the cheekbones, But given that you'll have the mask on, it doesn't really matter too much unless you're doing a non-masked Harley. Then I just do my nose, make the nose nice and cute, and Cupid's bow. I am one of those people that are super known for going way too much highlight, but just when I'm doing cosplay, like no other time. So we just kind of make the nose look nice and cute. And then next up is just some blush. So I'm just going to get another fluffy brush. This blush is ancient. I have been using it since I did dance. Probably should throw it out, but it works. That's all that matters. Otherwise for Harley, if you want, you can use a red eyeshadow. Just be aware it's going to be very, very pigmented and very hard to blend. Whereas this one, it's easy to blend out. And since I'm a naturally red person underneath this, it kind of just blends in a little bit more. And if I do overheat, it's not as obvious. So we're just going to do apples of the cheeks. And if you want even, pop some on the nose for a cute little red nose effect. And then this will be the point that I setting spray, but I've run out, so just pretend I'm doing that. And then before we do our lipstick, we're going to put our cowl on. So first up, wig cap. You would usually not have ponytails in or pigtails in, but as I said, I don't like how I look in wig caps. So we're gonna make it work. Ooh, we're attached on the earring. There we go. Just gonna slide all of that in there really badly. Come on. Boop. Boop. And then I never used to use these more of a stocking caps until lately, and oh my god, they are literally the best things in the world. So we're just gonna put that. I'm gonna kind of jingle those little balls back. Obviously it's not gonna be perfect, but that's good enough. And then next up is the cowl. So my cowl is from, I'm gonna screw it up, from Chesley or Chelsea. I don't know, she's amazing on Instagram. She's like the Harley Quinn, and she does the most beautiful cowls, and she does my suit as well. So this is from her. The mask. Okay. I do have the mask that you can stick on with eyelash glue. I don't like them. My face is too animated and I move too much, so they just fall off. So this is just your basic Harley Quinn mask that you can get from eBay with the string on the back. I've had to tighten the string because my head's too tiny, and I've also heat formed this. So I've heated it up with a heat gun and I've pressed it on my face and burnt my face. But it just kind of sits a little bit better to my face. Not as much as it used to because this has been worn so many times. But it does. And the string, if you are doing charity events like I do a lot of the time, kids are just kids. Also, your makeup's gonna come off. You can usually just use like a baby wipe or a makeup wipe and wash it with some soap. I haven't because I'm lazy. So I'm just gonna pop that on. Try and avoid the eyelashes if possible. So see, you can't really see the eyebrows, so it doesn't really make a difference. Double check all the sides and the front. And then we're going to properly zip the back of the cowl. And especially with the cowl, one thing is that you do get double chin quite easily. So that's why I said to really try and make sure you bring the face paint down, because you don't want to be like this and have like a massive skin tone line. So once you double check that all the lining is in properly, everything is where it should be, fluff this one back into place. He does need a wash, so next time he gets a wash I will kind of reshape the horns, because as I said, they're dying, and when you're with kids they go floing. So yes, so that's what. Sorry about like the little cut bit, because this will be a little bit different than how the rest of it's filmed, but I made a boo-boo and was like, oh, I should probably fix that. So the black lipstick that I ended up putting on is the Kat Von D Witches. So So I either use the black or I use the red Outlaw. These two are like my go-to lipsticks for so much. Like they're just so perfect for everything. Otherwise, if you want a bit of a shine, which I just kind of want to hit the light, this one is called Red Hot by Lime Crime. This has a little bit of a glitter effect to it, which is nice when you're doing something a little bit different. Otherwise, you have, I'm not even going to try and pronounce this, Mara something or other by Winky Lux. I think it was part of their Red Velvet set, because I think this one's called Red Velvet. This is a lip liner. Always make sure you have a lip liner, because even like if this just isn't working, you can just lip line everything and you're pretty much set. Also, if you're doing Joker or anything and you want the little smiles, or Harley and you want to go a little bit out in the corner like I have done, especially on this side it's a little bit more noticeable, you can always use your liner. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Harley makeup. If you want blue eyes, obviously pop contacts in if you want to. These are just my natural eyes, so it doesn't really matter for me. I'm very lucky in that stance. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously make sure you set your face every time you do a costume. If you're going to a convention or a photo shoot, you don't know what it's going to be like, set that face. I use the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I haven't had that for a while because I ran out. But that is probably one of the best ones, even if you just have the MAC Fix Plus. But make sure you don't use that for body paint because it is a water-based spray, and obviously body paint's water-based. It doesn't work like that. I zoomed you in a little bit closer just so you can kind of have a look. But honestly, thank you guys so much for watching. I really just appreciate it. And I just love you guys so much. And for anyone that's ever like, oh my god, I love your makeup. Like honestly, that means so much, as I've been cosplaying Harley for like 3 years. And it's just, I think, obviously you get better with practice. And I think we're doing pretty well at this point. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching again. I really love you all. And have a good day. One night. Or oh my god, stop with that bloody construction already!